Our next presenter is an avid whole food production specialist who enjoys cooking what he grows and writing songs to circumvent seeing a therapist. Please welcome Zach Grant.
That's going to be tough to follow. The Sustainable Student Farm at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign was born in 2009. It began as a top-down conceived project aimed at bringing local, seasonal, and sustainably raised produce to UIUC dining hall units. From the beginning, and out of financial necessity in an ever-uncertain state-funded paradigm, the revenue-generating aspect of the project was the main driving force. Now, with 5 acres of outdoor production underway, a quarter-acre year-round high-tunnel production site, and collaboratively built infrastructure, it now aims to realign itself with the bottom-up approach, striving for goals that place the land-grant model back into the context from which it came, ones that address fundamental needs of society: food, farming, community, and collaboration. The land-grant concept was forged from the Morrill Act legislation of 1862. The institutions that were spawned were meant to marry agricultural, science, engineering, side by side with liberal studies, trying to meet the demands of an ever-changing modern world. The fruits of this marriage were meant to benefit the public interest as well as encourage innovation. A lot has changed since 1862, and we now find ourselves in a world where the private interests often trump the public ones. As the student farm moves closer and closer to a permanent fixture on the campus, we're seeking to create constructive relationships with the university and the community. In many ways, our approach is similar to the reproduction of a slime mold. Though at times physically separated in discipline, we will find a way to reconnect. Our approach seeks to reinvigorate the original land-grant mission. By solving problems in place with multiple disciplines at our disposal, we can approach issues and their solutions with a broad collaborative stroke. With this flow diagram, we began piecing together departmental compatibility with our efforts, and this is what we've come up with so far. Rather than solely relying on traditional soft funding to support our efforts, we've established a new crowd-funded approach through the Student Sustainability Committee. This committee allocates student fee funding to sustainable projects on campus. In regards to our projects, this is how we see it. It's students allocating student fees for students to work on projects in real-world sustainable action. The genesis for these collaborations began in 2009 with Eric Benson's senior-level graphic design course. The students in this studio were tasked with branding, naming, website creation, and developing an awareness campaign for the student farm. This illuminated the lamp to the potential of the multidisciplinary approach for our projects. The excitement of working with these budding designers made me feel like a guest judge on a reality television show, Project Runway, Student Farm Edition, and I was hooked. From that, a wellspring of collaborations is issued forth, including a broader awareness campaign and another exciting art and design project we are currently working on. The Fresh Press Project is an agri-fiber papermaking lab that utilizes unused farm plant waste and specifically grown plant material on the farm to make paper products. These vary from simple artisanal sheets of paper with microbrew names like Double Cooked Soy Brown and Sunflower Solstice, to paper containers such as our Veggie Cup concept, which is a foldable paper mold container that we can use to sell produce in at the farm stand on campus. With the on-farm field processing area in place and the papermaking studio on campus, Fresh Press probes the functionality and feasibility of sustainable papermaking systems. Some of the more complex collaborations have come from the Student Farms collaboration with the School of Engineering's Learning and Community, or LINK course. Within this course is the Electric Vehicle Initiative. Our newest adventure with this group has brought us the Sustainable Student Vehicle, which has co-opted our branding. It is a 1-ton payload, all-electric delivery vehicle that we use for weekly produce drop-offs around campus at the dining units and to bring produce to the farm stand. Our initial collaboration with this group was the electric tractor. The electric tractor is a converted mid-1940s Alice Chalmers G cultivating tractor that we use for many of the mechanical cultivating duties on the farm. These electrical power sources are testing the limits and misconceptions of how electric vehicles can replace traditional non-renewable sources of energy on a farm. And from these projects, we hope to use this sustainable energy baseline for a life cycle assessment of the farm systems. Our newest multidisciplinary collaborator is Jeff Poss's small studio in the Department of Architecture. From this ongoing, now 18-month-long collaboration, we have spawned new concepts in farm stand display furniture, as well as new infrastructure pieces. Folding Farm is a deployable bike trailer that doubles as a produce transport vessel and farm display piece. It is biked on a 6-mile loop from the farm to the farm stand on campus and then back to the farm again. It has a 300-pound payload capacity and is re-envisioning the traditional delivery model of produce, especially in the context of emerging urban farm systems. The longest-running project with the small studio is the Washing and Packing Pavilion. This pavilion is a partially enclosed, low-impact structure that we use to safely handle, wash, sort our produce before we deliver it to its final destination. It's created a very efficient and organized workspace for a very important step in the harvesting process of our highly perishable produce. The Wash Pack Pavilion has allowed a group of architecture students to work on a small structure from the design concept all the way through the construction process. This being the hallmark example of our collaborative approach, whereby the student farm receives an invaluable piece of infrastructure to improve its many systems, and in return, the students receive an enhancement to their education above and beyond the normal experience. They had to make many real-time decisions and adjustments throughout the process, such as the choice to purchase this used concrete mixer locally rather than have concrete trucked in for the footings for the foundation. These are decisions and pressures that are not faced in a normal, traditional studio course in the Department of Architecture. Community buy-in and university buy-in has been central to the success of our efforts so far. Our Thursday Farm Center on the Quad from 11 to 5 in partnership with the Atlanta Union has been our main direct link with the university community and the community at large. Here, sales of fresh local farm produce from the student farm are coupled with weekly dialogue about where food comes from and where it's going. In addition, these weekly interactions allow our summer workers to develop meaningful communication skill sets. In this picture, I'm explaining the finer points of year-round salad green production to Chancellor Weiss as she comfortably listens in her farm shoes, a pair of sporty hot pink Nike sneakers. She's been instrumental in supporting the completion of the Wash Pack structure and very excited about our collaborative efforts, as well as UIUC as contributing to a progressive leader in sustainable initiatives. These collaborations have made one thing abundantly clear. Food and farming have just as much relevance in cultural and social contexts as they do in reductionist scientific ones. In closing, I'll leave you with a Wendell Berry quote that resonates at the heart of our efforts. Problems must be solved in work and in place with particular knowledge, fidelity, and care by people who will suffer the consequences of their mistakes. Thank you very much.